What's up, pack members? It's your Warrior Spirit Alpha here, and welcome to another video. So, this is going to be a little bit of, I wouldn't say a top 10 video, since it's really about like 13 or 14 of them. In fact, let me check real quick. Let me see how many. Yeah, it's 14, okay. So, this is going to be my rankings for all the LEGO games that I have played. Now, just so you know, I have not played every single LEGO game. So, for those of you who know games such as like, I don't know, like Lego The Hobbit, Lego City Undercover, and, certain games like that. I have not played every single one of them. So, yeah, if I leave a lot of them off this list, it's mainly because, I've never played them, so I can't, give my honest opinion about them. But these are all the Lego games I have played, and I'm ranking them from worst to best. And just so you know, this is my personal opinion, so don't get mad if I trash talk your favorite LEGO game, but this is my personal opinion, so if you have a different opinion than me, then feel free to tell me what your favorite LEGO game is down below, because this is just my opinion. I'm not saying my opinion is superior to anybody. This is just how I feel about each and every LEGO game. So, I'll describe each LEGO game of how I felt about it and why I like it or why I don't like it. But, yeah, anyway, that just about wraps up the intro, so let's get started on our list of number 14, shall we? Number 14 on the list would have to be LEGO Worlds. Now, this is actually a tough pick between what's 14, aka this one, and what, 13 is going to be, but I kind of feel like I have to give the worst ranking to LEGO Worlds. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I saw the trailer for this game, I was super hyped about it. I wanted to play it so bad, and, I got it for a Christmas gift. And don't get me wrong, the game itself isn't actually terrible. Well, it's, pretty much like Minecraft, but with Lego bricks. And it was a little, a bit of a disappointment. Mainly, it's nothing against the game. The game itself is actually pretty good. But the way you were to build with Lego bricks was pretty clunky. And I don't know, it just felt dull to me. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you really enjoyed this game, but me, I just don't think it's for me. I mean, I tried my best to enjoy the game. I visited a few times and even played up to the point where I became a master builder in the game. But after that, I kind of got bored of the game. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just me. I mean, LEGO Worlds, it was a good attempt, but I just don't think it was really for me. I think I would rather prefer, real life Lego building rather than digital Lego building. But then again, it's just me. So, yeah. Number 14, LEGO Worlds. A good game, aim for those who like to be creative, but I just don't think it's for me. Number 13 on my list would have to be LEGO Indiana Jones 2 The Adventure Continues. And the reason why I have this game at a low ranking, because don't get me wrong, I love the Indiana Jones movies. I loved each and every one of them. But this game just did not feel right. I mean, looking back at it, obviously I enjoyed it when I was a little kid, but now that I'm older, looking back at it, the game's terrible. I mean, the open world is, just bad. It has like nothing to do in it. The story makes no sense. They legit just take the really good stuff from the movies and just try to throw it in and make a whole different story. That's terrible. I mean, not much to say about this. I mean, I liked it as a little kid, but growing up and looking back at this, I thought, wow, this game is bad. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like it anymore. I mean, the game was a fail. It was good back in the day, but nowadays it's a fail. So, yeah. Number 13, Indiana Jones 2 The Original Adventures. Awful game. Don't even play it nowadays. Number 12 on the list is LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventure. And the reason why I put this game higher than Indiana Jones 2, because this game is better than the other one. I mean, then again, I did play the original Adventures on the Nintendo DS instead of the Nintendo Wii, and usually I don't think DS games are as good as the real big console ones, but in this case, I felt like the original Adventures was just a really good game. I mean, it copied the movies with a little bit of added childhood humor, to make it safe for kids, I guess. Even though the Indiana Jones movies were rated okay for kids, I don't think they are. But then again, it is still a good game. Like if you like Indiana Jones, honestly, I'd recommend Lego Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures over The Adventure Continues. I mean, I don't think the game's aged well, but back in the day, it actually was a pretty entertaining game. I'm glad I got to play it. So yeah, Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures, good game. Definitely go for Original Adventures rather than The Adventure Continues. So number 12, Lego Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures. Not really aged well, but it's still a good game regardless. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, it was acceptable. Number 11 on my list would have to be Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7. And before you ask, no, I have not played Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. I probably should have, but honestly, I think buying this game was a mistake. Honestly, I bought this game a few years after it came out, I think, and I have to say, it wasn't really that fun. I mean, I did visit it later, or revisit it later on to complete it, but even so, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good Lego game, but being a Harry Potter fan, I thought it was, at least acceptable. I love all the Harry Potter movies. They're all amazing. In fact, I prefer Harry Potter over Star Wars nowadays. Great. Hate me if you want to, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I should have bought it when I was younger, back when it originally came out. Like buying it after playing much better Lego games just felt off. But whatever the case, number 11, Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7. I mean, it was probably a good game back in the day, but nowadays it's not really good, at least not in my opinion. So yeah. Number 10 on my list would have to be Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. And I know probably a lot of you are going off right about now, but I have to take hate on this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was my first Lego game ever, and I really enjoyed it back when I, originally played it, back when I was 8 or 9 years old. Honestly, 8 and 9 was my, I don't know, my highlight point for Lego because I love Lego at that time. It was one of my favorite things. And I'm not saying this game is bad. It's just, I mean, it stood strong back in its day, and I still think it does quite well nowadays. But compared to some of the other Lego games that we've gotten over the years, this game is trash. And it's also probably because I've kind of grown out of Star Wars. I mean, I just lost interest ever since I discovered Harry Potter. My interest in Star Wars plummeted to the bottom. I mean, I can't say I'm a Star Wars fan anymore. If you want to dislike me because of that, then go ahead. But I'm sorry. This is my opinion, and Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, I think that game has died by now. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. It was a good game back in the day, but compared to the other Lego games we've gotten in the past few years, the game's not good. Not good compared to the other ones. But yeah, number 10, Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. Amazing first Lego game, and I'm sure a lot of you enjoy it as well, but it's outdated. Number 9 on the list would have to be Lego Batman, the first one. Now, once again, just like for the original Adventures of Indiana Jones, this is a video game I actually only got to play on the Nintendo DS, no consoles. But if you ask me, I would say, hey, I think that this game, it wasn't the greatest Lego game that I ever made, but it was interesting. I think one of my favorite parts about the DS version, because obviously I never played the console version, the DS version had the little aspect, where you go over these certain paths if you're Batman, Robin, or a character that's kind of connected to those two, and you get the power up suits like the flight suit, or I guess glide suit to be more exact, the bomb or demolition suit, the hazard suit, and stuff like that. I mean, and some of the characters are actually pretty cool too. I mean, I like the little aspects. I mean, the fight scenes could have been better, but they were good for its time. I mean, yeah. Lego Batman, and for number 9, kind of an outdated game, but I have to say, it was actually a really fun game. It had a lot of interesting aspects to it. Plus, I think any Batman fan would enjoy it. Number 8 on the list would have to be Lego The Incredibles. And I know this is the Lego game we've gotten only a few years ago, but why is it so far up on my list? Well, here's the thing. The story itself was great, and I actually am a really big Incredibles fan. It's my favorite Pixar movie next to, or along with Cars, and I kind of like Wall-E as well. And Big Hero 6 was always awesome. But yeah, I mean, the game, it was good for the story, but once you beat the story, you get all the characters, there's really no point in playing it anymore. I mean, usually I like live games that have a big open world that you can play around with characters in. And I think the customizer is also one of my favorite parts about Lego games. And this game's customizer just was not really that good. I mean, I thought they would keep the normal aspect of customizer like they've had in the previous games before this one. But, and if you guys know what I'm talking about, that is then, it probably would have been better. But I don't know. I mean, Lego Incredibles, it just felt kind of dull to me after beating the game. Honestly, I don't know why I bought it. I mean, it was a good game for the story, but once you beat the story and get all the characters, there's no point in playing the game anymore. So, yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of you probably enjoyed the game, and it's a fun game, but, it's nothing special, in my opinion. So, yeah. Number 7 on my list would have to be Lego Marvel's Avengers. And just so you know, I think the Lego Marvel games is a Lego game franchise that I necessarily loved. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a bad game. It actually is a really good game. I mean, the characters are, well done. A lot of them are really old Marvel comic book characters. But, the exclusion of, like Spider-Man, even though he technically did get him for a free DLC pack, but still, he wasn't in the base game. And then, X-Men and the Fantastic Four, they weren't in the game at all. So, but that's not the only reason why I have to rank this game a little lower than most. It's mainly because of the story. I mean, the story, you're pretty much just playing through the movies. And if you've already seen the movies, then you kind of know what to expect. So, yeah. But other than that, the game is a really fun game. The only reason why I have to rank it low is mainly because the exclusion of a good bit of characters that were in the original game, and also the story could have been better, because who wants to just play through the movies when you know what to expect? But yeah, overall, Lego Marvel's Avengers, still a good game. I say I quite like it. Number 6 on my list would have to be Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Now, I originally bought this game because, my best friend that you may know is Blaster. He got the game first, and then after I talked to my mom a little bit about it, because I didn't know much about it, she said, well, would you like to buy it? I said, yeah, sure, I'll try it. So I bought the game, and overall, I have to say, it was actually a really good game. I mean, the story was very well done. The character roster was absolutely amazing. The only downside about it was the hub worlds. The hub worlds weren't really that good, mainly because they were very limited. And the only hub world where you could drive vehicles that you found was in Oa, aka the Green Lantern planet. So yeah, the hub world and the vehicle driving could have been better. But overall, it is a good game because, the story's amazing, the character roster's amazing, and, if it wasn't for the lack of hub world, like, availability, then it would actually be ranked higher. But then again, that's just me. But, so yeah. Number 6 on the list, Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Good game, just needs more hub world space. Number 5 on the list would have to be Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. And I know what you're thinking, why is this video game ranked so high up on the list when it's a much older Lego game? Well, say what you want, but this is actually a Lego game I actually love to play over and over again. I don't know why. I mean, all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are very entertaining to me. Well, actually, I have not seen Dead Men Tell No Tales, so please don't spoil any of that for me, but I have not seen that movie. And Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, it was actually a really good game. I mean, the different aspects were actually really good, and I know what you're thinking. thing. Like you said, Lego Marvel's Avengers, you're just playing through the movies. Isn't this game the same thing? Well, yes, that is true. But then again, I played this game when I was a lot younger. I was like 9 or 10 years old when I played this game, and I was a teenager when I played Lego Marvel's Avengers. But yeah, I mean, then again, like Pirates of the Caribbean, it had its weird downsides to it, but overall, it was actually a really good game. I mean, I don't think it's aged very well, but has it aged really, or has it aged at least decently well? Yeah, actually, it has. I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but overall, like Pirates of the Caribbean was actually a really good game. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you agreed. But yeah, so I have to rank this number five because it just holds a lot of memories for me. So yeah, number five, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. Good game. Number four on my list would have to be Lego Dimensions. Now, this is one of those Lego games that I got when I was a little older. I was 15 years old because I got it for a Christmas gift. And overall, I actually really loved the game. Like, the way it operated was kind of unique because it was kind of like Skylanders, because I have played the original Skylanders. And yeah, I like to see it in Lego form. And there's a lot of different franchises that were included, including some exclusive Lego themes, such as like Portal, Doctor Who, stuff like that. By the way, my favorite Lego Dimensions theme was Midway Arcade. That was awesome. But the reason why I don't have it higher up is mainly because I didn't like the way you had to buy each and every character. Now, I'm not gonna talk. I did buy each and every character. You guys have seen my Lego Dimensions videos, but you know, I regretted buying all this because I wasted a lot of money, but it was still a fun game regardless. And then, when year two came out, I didn't really buy squat. I bought some, but not a lot. And I guess Lego Dimensions stopped at year two because I guess year two had a lot of problems. And it did. It actually did. But overall, Lego Dimensions, it's a really good game. I mean, everything about it is really good. The only problem is the price, because it's expensive on its own, and then buying all the characters, it gets so expensive. But other than that, Lego Dimensions is actually a really good game. So if you haven't played it, at least play it once. I wouldn't recommend buying all the characters. At least try it once. So yeah, number four, Lego Dimensions. Awesome game, just not a good price. Number three on my list would have to be Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Now, the reason why I have it ranked number three and not higher up is mainly because, well, I'm not going to reveal the reason yet, but don't get me wrong, this was actually an amazing, amazing game. And I loved it. I loved every part of it. I mean, the story was very creative. The character roster was well thought out. The new game mechanics were really well done. And the customizer, don't even get me started on the customizer. That was such a big jump from the previous customizers. Because, you could actually add apes again. You could actually, pick which button did a certain power instead of, the way where you had to use a face or something to get the power. So yeah, that was another really good part about it. And I don't think there's really anything I disliked about it, because the hub world was wide open. Sure, it was a bit wonky because it was a bunch of different worlds kind of mashed together. But it was still a good hub world, and at least you had plenty of space to drive vehicles if you wanted to. And there's just a lot of things about the game that I enjoyed. So yeah, number three, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Awesome game, and I still think it aged well to this day. Number two on my list would have to be Lego DC Supervillains. And much like Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, this was actually an amazing game. In fact, this might be the most recent Lego game we've ever gotten. And I think everything about it is, very well done. I mean, the mechanics are really good. They, once again, improved the character customizer where you can do a lot more things, including making your characters grow giant, which that was awesome in my opinion. I love that so much. And, you can actually pick a proper voice for your character as well. I mean, they just really, really improved the character customizer in that too. And not to mention, the story was very well created, and the fact that you play as yourself, you got to make your own customized character, gain new powers along the way, and do the story. That was a really awesome thing. I absolutely loved that. In fact, I don't think there's any flaws about this game. I mean, I know it's kind of silly to say, but I can't think of anything I did not like about the game. Everything was well done. The mechanics were awesome. I love the customizer, the story, plenty of space to drive your vehicles, and not to mention the DLCs. The DLC for both this game and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 were both very well selected, and it added a lot of variety to both of those games. But yeah, number two is Lego DC Supervillains. Awesome game, absolutely no flaws with it as far as I can see. So yeah, awesome game. If you have not played it yet, definitely pick it up. It is worth playing, and are gonna love it. And last, but certainly not least, number one on my list is Lego Marvel Superheroes. That's right, the original Lego Marvel Superheroes game. And I know what you're thinking. Why do I have this game ranked higher than Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 and Lego DC Supervillains? Well, I will admit the customizer of this game is not nearly as good as the customizer from the previous two games on this list. But the thing that makes me pick this as number one is a few reasons, actually. First of all, this was a major jump in gameplay as compared to the other games I've played in the past. Yes. Because, I'm not going to count the DS games like Batman or original Adventures of Indiana Jones. But, the other console Lego games I've played up before this one were Star Wars Complete Saga, Lego Indiana Jones, The Adventure Continues, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. And because I didn't get Lego Harry Potter till later. But when I first played this game, I was blown away. I loved it so much. The fact that you could fly, had characters that transform, had all these unique abilities. It just felt awesome. I mean, I loved every part of it. And another reason why I like this game better than Lego Marvel's Avengers is because, like I said, Lego Marvel's Avengers, for its story mode, you're really just playing through the different movies. And even though I loved all the movies of Marvel that I've seen, I don't want to play a whole game where I already know what's going to happen. But yeah, the main reason why I like this game is the story, because it makes the events of the story make it seem like it takes place after the events of the first movie, because in the first level you hear Agent Coulson say, "Welcome back to New York, gentlemen." Spoiler alert, but that doesn't really spoil much. So it kind of makes it seem like the events of the first movie ended, and then you're playing through this whole new story. And yeah, the story was just very well done. It was original, and where else can you have the Avengers team up with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man? That was just amazing. I mean, there were so many different villain fights that you can do. All the character roster was very well done. The hub world was huge. I mean, you had so much space to drive vehicles. So that was another thing. And I don't know. I guess Lego Marvel Superheroes just holds a special place in my heart. So that's why it's number one. So yeah, that completes the list. But before I sign off, there is something I'd like to mention. I do have one honorable mention for this list. So let's check out that honorable mention, shall we? The honorable mention on this list is Lego Battles. And the main reason why I did Lego Battles as an honorable mention instead of as part of the list is mainly because this isn't a Lego game per se. I mean, yes, it does have Lego characters, but it does not have the mechanics of a Lego game. Because a Lego game, you're going on an adventure, you're building stuff, you're solving puzzles and fighting boss battles. That's a Lego game. This game is pretty much Lego Clash of Clans because you're finding studs, you're building your defense, and you're just fighting off enemies when they come. It's not really that fun. It's not fun at all, actually. The only reason why I got this game was mainly because back when I was 8 or 9 years old, I lost my Nintendo DS case, which had most of my games, and I was pretty bored by the one game I was playing, which was Lego Batman. So my mom offered me, saying, "Hey, would you like to go to Toys R Us and get yourself a new game so you have another one to play? I said, yes, please. So we went to Toys R Us. I got the game, played a little bit, and it wasn't really that fun, honestly. Then, not too long later, I finally found my DS case, thank God. But, yeah. Overall, I guess I should call Lego Battles a dishonorable mention. But yeah, honestly, don't waste your money on Lego Battles. I mean, it hasn't aged well. In fact, it wasn't even good when it originally came out, in my opinion. So yeah, if you try to get Lego Battles or Lego Ninjago Battles, don't. Just, it's not worth it. But anyway, that was a dishonorable mention. Well, I said honorable mention, but it's pretty much a dishonorable mention. So yeah. So yeah, Lego Battles wasn't good when it came out, and it's still not good to this day. So yeah. Well, Pack members, that there just about wraps up my LEGO video game rankings that I've played from worst to best. So, if you disagree with my list, feel free to tell me in the comments below, but this is just my opinion. So, I know we haven't had a LEGO game in a while now, but I have to say, the past few years of LEGO games have been pretty good. I'm very satisfied with them. But anyway, that just about wraps up this video. So until next time, this is Spirit to Alpha, signing out. I'll see you guys